Hi, please bear with me. This might be a lengthy one. If you know me well, you've probably figured out by now that I express myself better in writing than in speaking. And for a long time, because of life, illness, and everything in between, I stopped talking. I lost my voice in more ways than one. But this season, what I call Kafele 3.0 dash after the shedding, is about showing up anyway. I'm learning to speak again, even if it's a little shaky or uncomfortable. By God's grace, I have finally tucked away the fear of sharing. And I'm praying that in His timing, my mouth will begin to speak the words more clearly that my heart and my mind are saying. In today's video, I've chosen to read. This message came right after I read the Bible verse of the day. I didn't plan to write anything down. The word just came out into my notes app before I even realized it. And so I want to share them with you exactly as they came to me, unedited, hand typed by me. Sometimes God gives us something in the moment, and I don't want to lose that by trying to retell or reinterpret it later. I know I'll get it wrong. So I hope you will give me grace today as I read what I wrote. This one might be longer than usual, as I said, but please stay with me. And I truly hope that maybe, just maybe, something in it might speak to your heart. Today's verse of the day is 1 Timothy 4 verse 12. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. As I read it and listened to the young person who shared his thoughts on it, I made a mental note to tell my teen when he eventually wakes up that he has to read today's verse of the day. As I moved to the written reflection, however, I realized the writer had not made this reflection solely about being young, but also about feeling too old to do something new. I started to copy those words into my notebook app to encourage me on days that I would need them. These are direct quotes from the reflection, the written reflection. Have you ever felt too young or too old to do something important? If you've ever felt too old, remember that God has purposely put you here at this specific time in history. You have great wisdom, leadership, and the gift of life experience. You see things from a unique vantage point, and that is a great thing. You are never too young or too old to be used by God. So in the course of trying to transfer this into my notebook app, I found myself needing to write, and I just started writing. I did not lift my head up until I reached the end, and this is what I wrote. You know, I have named this stage or chapter of my life as Kafele, as Kafele 3.0 dash after the shedding. I have done that because to me it feels like starting my journey of life all over again. I feel God has stripped me of all the excesses of everything, so that I can start life all over again at almost 50. Kafele 1.0 was me until my marriage ended. I was hopeful for Kafele 2.0. I was determined to find out what God had intended for my life that I may have forgotten in the comfort of marriage and motherhood. I felt I had been set free to find the true me. Kafele 2.0 didn't turn out to be the way I had imagined or hoped, the way I had really hoped for, because I found out God was not done with the shedding. God puts me through experiences that brought me to my knees and to Him, who only can give you life and everything else. I yearned to know what He wanted from me. He said, but seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. He said, seek me first, and I will give you the desires of your heart. He said, you will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with all your heart. I had to shed a lot of tears through the stage of shedding. Sometimes I knew the only way I was still standing was because I had loved ones standing strong for me, praying for me, encouraging me, and lifting me up. I yearned to understand that we are not promised life. We are not promised anything except God's grace guiding you through the difficult times and holding you up. I had friends and family being called to God too soon, some with similar illnesses that I had, but He kept me for some reason. And finally, I wanted to desperately know what the reason was. I sought to know Him deeper. I sought to walk with Him only. Life is short. It's so fleeting to spend it doing anything other than His purpose for your life, His purpose for my life. So I found Matthew 9 verse 37. Then He said to His disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into His harvest field. I would tell the Lord, you said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. I want to be your laborer. Show me how I can do that. Show me where you want me to go. Show me what you want me to do. Yes, I will tell others about your goodness through the storm. Yes, you can have my life if your will is that I live longer. It was difficult to keep this focus through the roller coaster of my life situation at the time. I was in constant pain. I was running around to all doctors and specialists. I was struggling with anxiety. I sometimes didn't recognize myself, but I kept going on for God, for myself, for my family, and for my friends. I had to. There was no other path. In the midst of all this, when I lost my job, it was not easy. It was a lot. How was I to take care of myself and the boys? I'm a single parent in America and no income. In my heart, I knew God wanted me out of there, but I didn't understand why it was at this time when there was so much chaos and so many others were losing their jobs too. I did my best to push through, but I was terrified. This is the reason why I call this phase of my life after the shedding. I'm starting anew, stripped down of everything that I held on to in the previous stages of my life. If there is anything these experiences have taught me, it's patience. You can't rush God, and you can't take things into your own hands. God has really beaten patience into me. You have to wait for His time. You just have to wait. So that's why I'm here waiting. But now I believe I know what God wants me to do with the rest of my life. I feel very unqualified for it, but I know He will meet me right where I am. So I'm starting life again, forgetting the past and moving on. I'm still in the struggle, but wake up a little more purposefully these days. I am no longer the person that I used to be. So hang in there the best way you can by leaning on Him for everything in His time. Even as I read this, I don't know how I wrote this. Like, how I just sat down and I really wrote all of this. But it couldn't summarize what I'm trying to do here any better. And that's why I chose to read it because I did not think of writing. I was reading the verse for my son. Um, Feeling today was not a day where the message spoke directly to me. And yet here I am. Whatever it is that you are going through, sometimes all you have is to drag yourself through to the next day. Try, do that. Tomorrow will come and He will give you the grace for it, the strength for it. So I hope today you were able to show up for yourself in whichever way that you were able to. If you haven't, it's not too late. It's so not too late to do that. Our God is not done with us yet. He's not done with you yet. So I wish you the best of the week. I pray God's blessings over your life. I pray God will keep you through it all, and He will show you His answers for your life. Have a blessed week.